Hi again everyone, Oy'Nissh. Welcome to another vlog. I am yours truly, Oy'Nissh Grandies. And in this video, I will be sharing with you what Jamaican Oy'Nissh language is. That is, what Jamaican Oy'Nissh language is. So, the first question that I'll be answering is, what is Jamaican Oy'Nissh language? Now, this video is made because there are some people who were wondering what some of the new words that I've been speaking in some of the videos is all about. They are interested to know where it's coming from, and I decided to make this video now to introduce to you this language. Now, Jamaican Oy'Nissh language is a constructed language, and it's meant for the development of Oy'Nissh food. In 2019, autumn 2019, I changed from officially doing jerk to Oy'Nissh. When I started out doing business sometime in 2015, going 2016, I used to do jerk food, but then I decided to do my own brand, so I've got the flexibility to develop the context. My intention was to make Oy'Nissh a brand that's teachable, because it has to do with the promotion of fruit and vegetable consumption, and that the method I used was to take a Jamaican technique that is unique to the island or in the Caribbean, the idea of jerk, and the idea of marinating in its entirety, and use that as a vehicle to put on food to bring them into season. And that's what Oy'Nissh is. To make marinades with seasonal products, put them on other food products, and bring those food products into the season of the locality in which the food is taken from. Now, Oy'Nissh itself covered the food, the marinades, the condiments, the oils, etc. But there's a fourth element. The fourth element has to do with the educational aspect of it. And this is where Oy'Nissh becomes a service. And there were three key services that Oy'Nissh started offering. One is culinary training service. That is a Jamaican culinary training service. The next one is the development of educational courses. Because this is intended to be educational, it's supposed to have a sequence of courses that have to do with the classification system in Oy'Nissh functions. You see, unlike jerk, Oy'Nissh have a classification system, and that's one of the major differences between jerk and Oy'Nissh. Now, the third element in Oy'Nissh is where the language emerged, because in it is training in language development. Because when I started in 2015, when I started playing around with jerk, I was looking for a classification system when I started playing around with different fruit and vegetables to make condiments. I remember quite well, by 2015, I was able to come up with 31 different jerk condiments. So I was looking into the Jamaican archive to see if there's a classification system for jerk, if you're using exotic fruits, if you're using citruses, if you're using special herbs, what name would you call it? I just thought it would have been the norm, because jerk is so a centerpiece of culinary art in Jamaica. Apparently I couldn't find anything, and I was quite surprised and taken back. I was even disappointed, because I was thinking Jamaica would be being at the forefront of jerk would have all that in place. But then I can't blame anyone, because maybe it's something that's not been taken into consideration. So I set up on developing a classification system. And I decided to do an international classification system for jerk. But in 2018, I remember there was a big dilemma because there was a fiasco with Jamie Oliver making punchy jerk rice.
Beautiful thing.
Chefs take inspiration from countries and cultures all around the world.
Jerk chicken.
Here's Jamie Oliver cooking jerk chicken successfully. But what's got the culinary knives sharpened for him today is this product of his, punchy jerk rice. One MP accusing him of cultural appropriation, of basically using the term jerk just to sell stuff without the right ingredients. For Jamaican chef Levi Roots, there are two must-have flavours, of which Oliver includes neither.
The key ones are Scotch bonnet chilies, but when you merge it with this lovely baby here, which is the allspice, which is the key for jerk.
For you, it's not jerk?
It's not jerk. It's like saying you're giving me chicken soup, but it has beef in it, or it doesn't have chicken in there. It has to have the intellectual property of what the dish is.
Yo, Pepperpot.
Hello. Can I make an order, please, for collection?
Sure, what you want?
Can I have some jerk rice?
Jerk what?
Jerk rice.
Ma'am, I think you might mean jerk chicken or jerk pork.
No. It's jerk rice because I saw it, Jamie Oliver does it, and obviously jerk is associated to Jamaican, so I just thought I'd get...
Jamie who?
Jamie Oliver. So I thought I'd get...
No, not Jamie Oliver, and we don't make no jerk rice, and jerk pork, and jerk chicken. So what you want?
Jamie Oliver, he's like a renowned chef.
English. It seems like the cold tongue in a damn fool, all right? Me not hear nothing about no jerk rice.
Oh my gosh.
Jerk chicken. This woman, you ever hear about jerk rice, you damn idiot? Eh? Jerk chicken and jerk fish, so what you want?
I would like some jerk rice with that, please. Because obviously, if you don't... I can get it in the supermarket, if that's the case. Yeah? I just thought...
You that damn fool go to the supermarket then. Listen English. Jerk a Jamaican thing. And there's no such thing as jerk rice. Alright?
You must, if you don't have jerk rice, then jerk chips, jerk potato.
Well, you such a damn fool, woman. What do you?
Jerk egg?
So in 2019, I decided to start from scratch, to start from ground zero. Having developed the art of marinating products and making marinades and sauces, I decided now to deviate from jerk and start my own brand, thus Oy'Nissh. Now, seeing that Oy'Nissh was now the brand, and the 3 services were included. Remember the 3 services? Jamaican culinary training services, the development of educational courses, and the 3rd one, which is where the language comes in, the training in language development. Because over 4 or 5 years of writing down new words, coming up with new words for the classification system that's not in Jamaican nor in the English language, because there was just no way to find an English word to classify it, because even in the UK there's no classification system for British sauces or classification for Scottish sauces or English sausage per se. If it's by the level of chili, texture, in terms of the season and all that, it doesn't exist. But that's what I did when I was doing jerk. So I said, use that method, but this time for Oy'Nissh. So now that I was equipped with all this and all the new words that I've been jotting down, the dates that they were coined and the meaning of them, I decided to specify in Oy'Nissh itself to be more specific about the language development part, and thus the term Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, myself being Jamaican and the author of the language. Therefore, it's called Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. So technically, Oy'Nissh and Jamaican Oy'Nissh language can be used alternately. They are the same. Jamaican Oy'Nissh language comes out of Oy'Nissh. They are one in the same. However, because the language itself will become more in-depth, I set it apart in its own space for development. And thus, the services that comes with that, because there's a lot more involved now. There are a number of services that's offered within Jamaican Oy'Nissh language or Oy'Nissh language. But today I'll be introducing 7 services. So there's the Jamaican calligraphy service. That's the first one, Jamaican calligraphy service. In that, this language, though it's a constructed language, is the first of its kind in the world of Jamaica, where there's a language that's built on calligraphy. That is, it actually have characters. Now, these characters are not the Chinese character or any Asian character, and they don't look the same. These were designed, I designed these characters specially for the development of Oy'Nissh language or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, which means these are intellectual property work. They are 1,062 Jamaican Oy'Nissh characters. That is 1,062 Jamaican Oy'Nissh characters or Oy'Nissh characters. All of them I designed with these hands that God gave to me, and thus they are intellectual property in that they are all copyrighted for the development of Oy'Nissh, the brand and the food, and therefore for commercial use, license will be needed by anyone in the world who decide to use them. The second service is entertainment services, and this is what I'm doing now, where I'm sharing with you vlogs and in the future any entertainment services, starting here in the UK first and as I go abroad, etc. Oy'Nissh language or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language or simply Oy'Nissh. Anything to do with the entertainment of Oy'Nissh and the using of the calligraphy or the characters or the graphic works will need licensing, because in the future when I'm doing cooking videos, I'll be doing special entertainment that have to do with the introduction of these characters. Now, the third service is the language interpretation service. Obviously, I have to interpret for people. As you can see, it's a lot of work, and take into consideration that I've not been given any scholarship funds. Things like this, normally people have been given a grant to do some scholastic work, to develop such like a research thing. I did it out of just sheer determination because it's something that I felt needed to be done as the brand develops. So it's time consuming, yes, but to edify myself and to remind me of some of the words and the definition before I even started sharing the calligraphic aspect of it, I've already put online Oy'Nissh dictionary. That is Oy'Nissh dictionary. So of the new words that have been coined and translated into English, but there's also the English to Oy'Nissh dictionary with some English words that have been translated into Oy'Nissh language. Now, fourthly, another service that's offered by Jamaican Oy'Nissh language is publication of books and texts. And at the moment, it's more online that I'm doing that now, as in the dictionary and the Oy'Nissh.com site where I started to write recipes, and eventually I start to introduce the characters and you'll see how it looks. This is the digital text. The third focus is on VLXA. So, VLXA, what is VLXA? VLXA is the name of Oy'Nissh character. See? Welcome to Oy'Nissh, or welcome to Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. Because Jamaican Oy'Nissh language have a character system which is called fiasco. That is fiasco. There are 1062 fiasco that by God's grace I designed, and they will be the means by which this language is written, translated into English. So fiasco are the characters. So the fourth thing I'll be sharing with you or introducing to you at this time is VT Mete. VT Mete. No, it's a progression of the three things that I've mentioned to you before. Why? Because with fiasco will be the ability to write poetry, and VT Mete is the first poetic form from Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. Remember, fiasco only exists because Oy'Nissh exists, and when you start to see how it's written, you'll start to realize the magnitude of what this language is all about. And because of this, a special poetic form is developed for this language that when I'm teaching in the future, adults, teens, kids, health conscious people who are looking into eating Oy'Nissh food or becoming a part of this Oy'Nissh community, poems will be introduced, but not as how you know it in the English language, and especially definitely not how it's written. I thank God for inspiration, for helping me to work on it. But VT Mete is the first poetic form. VT Mete is a teaching service that's relating to turning all these Oy'Nissh characters into poetry. Yes? Turning Oy'Nissh characters into poetry. So now you'll have the Oy'Nissh language, or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, have its own poetic form. And this is made possible because of fiasco, which is the Oy'Nissh character, or Jamaican Oy'Nissh character. 1062 of them. Now, because you'll be introduced to the poetry now will turn into songs. And this is where now another aspect of Oy'Nissh comes into play. Learning how to write in poetry into these characters, and thus launching what's known as the first official music genre from Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, or from Oy'Nissh itself. A genre of music that's not graced the island of Jamaica yet, nor the world yet. And it's because of how the language is written. And it will change the way how the music sounds, or music sounds. And this genre of music is called VT Mete, from the poetry VT Mete. So firstly, you've got fiasco, which is the character of Oy'Nissh, or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. Fiasco itself goes to produce poetry, and learning how to use characters to turn into poetry is called VT Mete. And VT Mete itself is the first genre of music from Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. It's not reggae. I leave reggae in its entirety to its own expertise. It's not dancehall, it's not ska, it's not rocksteady, it's not soca from Trinidad, it's nothing Caribbean, it's nothing in Europe either. It's its own language, and it's meant to be fun music that while I'm teaching, we can use this as rhymes or whatever. But because of the feature of the language, the feature of fiasco, and learning how to turn these characters into poetry, VT Mete, when that poetry is written and sung, the first genre of music from that is called VT Mete, which now become another genre of music. And I wouldn't say officially from the island of Jamaica per se, but I'm Jamaican, so technically it's a Jamaican genre of music. And this is where education is important, because it will be based on singing about food. And that's why it's not reggae nor dancehall, because they evolve out of a different context, a different struggle, a different ethos. Oy'Nissh is about the promotion of fruit and vegetable in season, putting it on ingredients and bringing those food into season. And Viti Mete will start like that. And I'm hoping that as people journey with me, that you start to see that I am willing to do my part here in Scotland, and when I go to visit Jamaica and so forth, to do the same. With the pandemic, by God's grace, I'm sure it's not me alone. There'll be people with new innovative ideas that haven't graced the world yet. And the idea is that we can now create new type of jobs that didn't exist yet and give people hope. And that's why the word Oy'Nissh came into play, a call to hope. So when I made that video, it wasn't haphazardly. I made it because it was leading up to this video that had to do with now how I'm, by God's grace, planning to give my contribution to Scotland while I'm here. And when I go to Jamaica, do the same to Jamaica and give people hope, call people to hope. And that's Oy'Nissh again. It's feeding people with the physical food, but it's feeding people with hope. So with Oy'Nissh, or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, and the services that will be offered, the introduction of the Elixir, the 1062 characters, and also this new poetry called Viti Mete, and the genre of music that is to come from it, Viti Mete, many people will have a new way of hope in their life. So I'm saying to my fellow people in Scotland, regardless of whatever race or gender you are from, whatever religion you are from, life is tough, life is hard. But Oy'Nissh, yes? A call to hope, Oy'Nissh. Hang on in there, persevere. Because I'm not the only one. There are people out there too who are doing their bit. And if each one do a little bit, it adds up. So I'm hoping to bring Oy'Nissh to you, or Jamaican Oy'Nissh language. But what I'm asking you to do, importantly, please don't use this as a means now to run off and start to do your own thing and misrepresent what Oy'Nissh is. Because I'm saying from ground zero, before everything is launched, I'm explaining to you clearly, and it's important, and I'm glad that this hasn't started 5 years ago. It started at ground zero. So it means that I can lay the foundation from now. Anything to do with Oy'Nissh, Jamaican Oy'Nissh language, all includes the characters. I own the copyrights to all of them. So whatever is done in terms of food globally in Oy'Nissh, that have to do with recipe development, menu development, the songs, the poetry, and the actual artwork, I own the copyright, because Oy'Nissh food is inseparable from the language. They are one in the same. And thus the famous term that is, well, not the famous, but a term that is used, Oy'Nissh, Millennial Jamaican Name, Food and Language. That is Oy'Nissh, Millennial Jamaican Name, Food and Language. I am Oy'Nissh, the creator of Oy'Nissh food, but also the creator of Oy'Nissh language. Journey with me, share this video and subscribe, because chances are you might see a means by which you can call me up and look for a business proposal and a licensing agreement wherein you can know with good faith and hope join the Oy'Nissh community, in which I can now start to teach you, and you now can go on to teach others with the right licensing agreement, knowing that you are legit and that you're not faking it or stealing someone's intellectual property. But apart from that, I'm hoping that I'll hear from you, you know, my Jamaican friends, people from church, people from the community. This is a new dawn, and we don't give up, regardless of how hard it is. Oy'Nissh, a call to hope. We will make it.